Hello and welcome to India Today SoSouth. I'm Gautam Shankar. Now, the Catholic Bishops Conference of India, or short for CBCI, has issued several guidelines on what values the Catholic educational institutions they need to hold up in these changing times. The guidelines were prepared by the Education and Culture Office of CBCI, and they say that they did this in order to manage the challenges that are being posed by the present socio-political situation in India right now. Now, these guidelines have been introduced for the first time, and it comes in the backdrop of recent attacks and protests where we saw these protests against principals and staff of educational institutions run by the Christian community. Now, I will take you through some of the important suggestions that have been laid forward by the CBCI. One prominent one is that it has suggested that the children should recite the preamble of the Constitution during the daily assembly. And they've also said that it should also be inscribed on the main entrance of the institution. Now, among other important suggestions, I just take out two others which I feel are important to look at here. Now, these guidelines talk about not imposing Christian religious traditions on students belonging to other faiths. They say that the school policies must be inclusive, and they've also asked teachers to coming from various backgrounds to promote diversity, and also that minority certificate of the school should be displayed at the entrance of the main building. Now, to talk about all these suggestions that have been given by the CBACI and the context in which it comes, basically talking about the current socio-political situation of the country, I'm now joined in by Archbishop of Bengaluru, Peter Machado. Thank you for joining us on this discussion on India Today SoSouth, Peter. Yeah. So my
So I'm
first
very
question to you.
happy, Gautam.
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
basically, my first question is, how do you feel these new guidelines of CBCA will help manage the challenges that are being presented in this current context of the political situation in the country? Do you feel that they are being done to uphold the religious harmony, tolerance, and respect of all faiths? What do you feel has prompted this decision by CBCA?
yes. First of all, the CBCI has a body, rather as a department for education. They call it Commission, the CBCI Commission for Education and Culture. And this commission, which is mostly deals with educational matters, sends once a year a general directives to all the schools, Christian schools, that this could be policy or the important matters that we would like to sort of adopt in our schools. And it's nothing very special. Every year it is done at the beginning of the year or the end of the year as well.
All right, but they also talk about the timing of it because they say that it's being done to basically uphold the and in the current context of the socio-political situation in the country, and that is why these specific guidelines have been issued. Would you like to comment on that? What is the current political situation or the socio-political conditions that they are referring to for putting out these suggestions this time around?
Yes, the CBCI in its meeting in the month of February, we had a series of discussions on the present situation in the country, and the many bishops who came from all over India, north, south, east, west, reported some of the things that are happening in their own places and surely challenges to the social fabric of the country. In many places, the bishop said that the poverty is increasing, though development is also quite appreciated, and we know that the government is doing much for development, but the poverty line is also increasing. The unemployment is increasing. There are a lot of difficulties or other disharmony in the situations which are created in the context of the religious sort of fabric that also was spoken of, and we know that we are going for a new election now, a parliament election, for which we also said that we need a government, a governance that looks after everything in our country. The poor are taken care of, the ones who are marginalized are taken care of, the women have to be specially sort of empowered. And so we said that this is the best time for us to motivate our people also to go for voting and make their presence felt in the electorate so that the country can have a good government.
All right, Archbishop. Now, one important suggestion is that children should recite the preamble of the Constitution during the daily assembly, and that it should also be inscribed on the main entrance. Now, the archdioceses have upheld the preamble in recent times. Now, my question is: do you see preamble as a sort of Christian concept? Because we've heard in the past archbishops saying that it upholds all that is said in the Bible. What is your view on this?
Yeah, first of all, the stress on the Constitution or what's called the preamble of the Constitution has come out in various forms and various forums also. And we also said that in this time it's very important to stress the Constitution because the present, perhaps some of our leaders do not seem to be knowing the importance of the Constitution as such. They belittle it, or rather, they do not want to mention it, they don't want to celebrate it, they don't want to consider it as that we have a golden opportunity to take the Constitution as our golden book for our country, for which every generation has to be proud of. And especially in the context of the children, we said they are the best ones who remember, they are the best ones who will appreciate it. So therefore, we have made it compulsory almost all our schools at the assembly time that the constitutional, what we call the preamble, is read and stressed also for the sake of our children. I would say that this is a good move, not only for Christians, but for all over the country, for us to say that the preamble of the Constitution and the Constitution itself is a golden book for us. We are proud of it. And, in Karnataka, we say Namma Constitution, it is our Constitution. And I think on the 26th of November, I don't remember the date properly, we have made it certain that all the schools celebrate the Constitution with pride, with happiness to say that we have something very special for us. To your question whether it is reflecting on the Bible, I would say it has got the tenets of every religion, the peace, the harmony, what we call the dignity of a person, the rights, the duties, karma, that we have to do our duties, etc., is enshrined in the Constitution very well. We also say that there are many Christian principles which are enshrined in the Constitution. For example, the human dignity. The human dignity, which is, we say that it comes from our humanness. It's not that someone has given us that you have got more dignity as a person. It is normal and natural. So also equality. There is nobody in our religion, we say that God has made us equal, whether men or women, poor or rich. In our dignity, we are equal. So there are many principles also that come from the Bible that are enshrined, I would say, in the Constitution, but not only our religion. There are other principles also of the other religions in the Constitution.
All right, noted, well noted there. Now, basically, to ask schools not to impose Christian religious traditions on students belonging to other faiths is a big step towards portraying a secular image. Now, we've also seen several clashes that have happened in Karnataka as well over similar issues that there have been complaints of conversion and all such. But in your personal view, do you feel scripture books should be allowed in minority schools to promote basic moral and ethical values, be it Bhagavad Gita or Bible? Now, you had said it in the past as well that it cannot be considered as forcefully alluring the students towards the religion, but is it needed for promoting moral and ethical values?
What the bishops or this commission of education that has given the directives have in mind is two things. Number one is we should not denigrate any religion. We should not sort of make light of any religion because every religion is something very sacred for a person. So therefore the religious values are mostly common. The love, the equality, the freedom, the dignity, and many other things are stressed by every religion. ahimsa, that we should not kill others, that we should not do harm to the others. These are common to every religion, and therefore we say that we should not what consciously denigrate any religion. We should uphold the principles of every religion. Principles of every religion has got something great in it that we should stress. And thirdly, we said that we should not impose. I mean, as you have seen that statement, it was a small statement, but I've seen in some of the papers highlighted to say that we should not impose our traditions, Christian traditions, on the others. What we meant was, let us not force people to do or say something which they perhaps are not very comfortable with. On the other hand, make them comfortable with the tenets of your religion in a positive way. For example, we have instructed that all our schools should celebrate three feasts of three religions very much in our schools in a beautiful way. For example, Christmas is for the Christians. We say Deepavali we should celebrate in every school because it's a festival of lamp. Then the third one is what we call the feast of Bakrid, which is a feast of sacrifice, the sacrifice as such. So therefore, these are the values we would like to stress also when we celebrate. And though we may not take the liturgical or the spiritual rites of those religions in us, the social aspect of the celebration, we would like to take it along. And that's why we said, let us not give an impression of imposing only our traditions on them, but we appreciate also the other religions and other traditions. This is at the back of our mind.
Understood. Now, Bangalore is home to some of the most prominent minority institutions and Christian schools. Will the Archbishop's office be taking it upon itself personally to ensure these new guidelines are enforced in all of these institutions as well?
Yes, normally what happens is, of course, the guidelines are not given by me by this time. It's given by all India body of all bishops, as I said, the Commission of Education and Culture, and therefore they will be taken up by all the Christian schools. Of course, in Bangalore, in our schools, the schools that are known to us, that are under my sort of directions, I will surely make this one, and there is no hostility or there is no negativity about it. All are positive. They would like to celebrate the feast of the others. They would like to stress on the values of the other religions. We have also said that in some of our areas we can have what's called inter-religious meet of different peoples of different religions so that we can share. We can even have seminars. For example, take the theme of sacrifice. What does Christianity say about sacrifice? What does Muslim or Islam say about sacrifice? What do the Hindus say about sacrifice? And so there are many things that are common. Mostly the religions have great value at heart. We normally try to stress the differences among us, but the ones that unite us, ones that are common, are much more better, much more greater also. So we would like to take the positive side of spreading the religions and religious harmony, peace among the people. And for this, I am sure and I'm very happy to note that all the schools, whether it's the different institutions, different congregations, different societies, when they are Christian, we all go together.
All right. And also, finally, I just want to ask these guidelines come in the backdrop of an organization in the Northeast where it was suggested that priests and nuns in the schools should not even be allowed to wear their religious attire. It was in Assam, sorry, not in Tripura. And now the guidelines that have been issued by the CBI come in this backdrop. So, what do you feel? Do you feel that these changes are overwhelming in a certain way, or will this be taken as a general guideline that should be imposed across all institutions as well?
To tell you honestly, that I don't want to take it too seriously because they come from certain areas, certain people, certain fundamental types of governments or perhaps individuals who are trying to spread this. In general, we know that the Christians and the Christian missionaries institutions have always been at the foremost to unite the people, to bring them together, to give them the best education, to give them the best values. There are no complaints of any conversion of any of our institutions, that people who have studied among us, that they have become suddenly Christians. We will not do that. We don't go for these cheap tricks as such. On the other hand, I know and we are hurt also when we listen to this kind of comments that come from certain parts of the country that Christian institutions should not do this, should not do that, should not wear the cross, should not wear the this one. One in Karnataka, one of our southern Mangalore, one of the MLAs even said that the children of other religions should withdraw their children from the Christian institutions. I don't think this is a general opinion as such. These are all small people with small minds who do this. And I don't think we should take it very seriously because, in general, I know that people like us, like our institutions, like our education. Here in Bangalore, at admission time, it's madness for me because everyone wants to come into our institutions. And most of our managers and management say that it's impossible to take everybody. If the people had really these kind of fears, why would they like to come to our institution and study and get this kind of this one? I think we should not take it too seriously. I only pray for them. They have hurt us, but God forgive them.
Never does, but God forgive them. Now, finally, Archbishop, I want to ask you, what is your message to all the Christian voters in Bangalore and across the country for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections that are just around the corner?
Yes, we are told that it's a very important election that is going to take place, for which not only the individuals will contest, the parties will contest, but the principles also will be at stake. We are moving towards a certain development and what we call economic oriented country. It's a very nice thing, but at the same time, we say that there are many poor people who have to be helped and supported. There are many women and other issues that are taking in this one. There should be some sort of a secure atmosphere. There should also be inter-religious feeling, harmony, because we find it very sad that certain religions are sort of taken into consideration as being dangerous and not helpful. Some persecution that is going on, some indifference, and sometimes even attacks on certain religious groups, places, persons. All this doesn't speak well. And for the youth, especially, the youth are waiting for employment. They have studied, but employment is a big, big question. And also the question of values, the question of values, the question of our constitution being once again brought to the center as such, because we hear certain voices, some want to change the constitution, some are asking whether the constitution is relevant. I mean, we get a little scared of this. We love our constitution, we love our motherland, we love our country. And therefore, I think this particular election is going to be a very much important one. And I also have been saying to the people that, first of all should vote. Every vote has to be cast. And I've been going from church to tell the people that your vote is very important. A person who does not vote is as good as encourages the wrong person to come up because he has not cast his vote and the others, perhaps with the wrong type of votes or perhaps the votes that have come, they could be wrong candidates. I say that party, I don't make much fuss about it. Candidates also, I don't try to name them. But what I say is try to vote for, first of all, candidates who know that what is the value of secularity in our country. The second, the ones who are non-communal. The non-communal, the religion need not be mixed up. We are all brothers and sisters. Our own, see, when we get corona, when the COVID came, it didn't come only for Christians or Muslims or Hindus, everybody, here in Bangalore, as you know, when the bodies were just lying, there were groups of religion, what we call the angels, Mercy Angels group came, I heard it was a Muslim group. They were ready to bury or cremate any bodies. Religion doesn't come in these kind of matters. Religion is above these matters because we all have to be together. So therefore, non-communal, and then one who loves the Constitution, who has respect and regard for the Constitution. And fourthly, I said, try as far as possible to elect also people who are non-corrupt. The money is not the only thing. Money is the root cause of all the evils, and corruption is root cause of so many evils among us. So I give these four characteristics to our people and tell them, you choose candidates, first of all, who are secular, who are non-communal, who love the Constitution, and fourthly, who are non-corrupt. and people understand whom they have to vote or perhaps which party they have to vote. And I hope it's going to be a successful election, bringing about a good government and good governance also.
All right. Thank you so much, Archbishop, for joining us on this discussion and basically spelling out that this election people need to vote for secular candidates and also people who are non-corrupt, and also for signifying that the guidelines that were given out by the CBCI is actually a message of unity. Thank you so much for joining us on this discussion on
Thank you.
India Today.
Thank you.